Welcome to the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2023 Global Finals live from San Francisco. Today's participants represent the top startups recruited across the world. These finalists will compete to win $70,000 in total prizes. Our distinguished panel of judges, representing both the startup community and Visa, will have the challenging task of selecting the deserving winners. It's time to kick off the Visa Everywhere Initiative Global Finals 2023. Here is your host, Dolores Terry, Senior Business Development Manager on Inclusive Client Partnerships at Visa.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Dolores Terry, and while I have the esteemed pleasure of working for Visa on our Inclusive Client Partnerships team, I get to play hooky today and serve as your host of the 2023 Visa Everywhere Initiative Global Finals. So we are so excited to have you here today, both in person at TechCrunch Disrupt here in San Francisco, and those who are tuning in at home. I've always wanted to do this. Hey, Mom and Dad. But thanks for joining us. We have some impressive startups that are representing across the globe and changing the face of payments. So once again, sick show. I need high energy today. But before you give us too much of your energy, we will have some opening remarks from Marie-Elise Droga, Senior Vice President and Global Head of North America FinTech Partnerships. Please welcome Marie-Elise Droga.
Welcome, Dolores. Welcome to all of you in the room, and welcome to all of you joining globally, virtually today. I'm thrilled to kick off the 2023 Global Final Visa Everywhere Initiative. What a mouthful. And what a journey to this point. 9 months in the making, thousands of creative fintech startups, and we're finally here in San Francisco at TechCrunch Disrupt, the original startup battlefield ground. To our esteemed judges today, thank you for lending your valuable time and competencies. To our phenomenal startup contenders, the true rock stars of the day, they're behind this black curtain, nervous as hell, so I hope you're going to be cheering them up when they come. It's much easier to be seated today than prepping for today's session, I can tell you that. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about Visa Everywhere Initiative. First of all, it's more than just another competition. It's genuinely the embodiment of Visa's commitment to fostering fintech innovation at the earliest stages. And we really firmly believe in the power of fintechs to solutionize and address the challenges of tomorrow, today, and that winning solution can really come from everywhere. So, over the past, 8 years, the Visa Everywhere Initiative has engaged with more than 15,000 startups from all around the world, more than 100 countries. And all are united by the common goal of solutionizing, fintech problems everywhere around the world. This year, the response has been phenomenal. We have received nearly 3,000 applications, each a testament of fintech's groundless creativity and ingenuity. And today we have the immense pleasure and pride of welcoming the 5 fantastic companies who've earned their place on the final global stage here today. So, welcome to the Visa Everywhere Initiatives. Buckle up. We're about to witness the future, and I can tell you that it promises to be nothing short of extraordinary. See you soon.
Thanks so much, Marie-Elise. Also, I failed to mention, she is one of my bosses, so I have to thank her for approving my travel here today. All right, next we're going to introduce our esteemed panel of judges, as I'm sure you got familiar with their faces as you were waiting for us to start. First, we have Emily Mann, a partner at Primary. Please give a little wave. We also have Ayo Arakawi, co-founder of Thrive Agric and the 2022 global winner. And our next set of judges, they're also playing hooky with me today as they're from Visa all across the globe. First up, we have Akshay Chopra, Vice President and Head of Innovation and Design from our Samia region. And next, I'm actually going to stare at my notes because Rodrigo Barros de Paula has about 3 different jobs at Visa, okay? Head of FinTech, Digital Partners, and Visa Ventures from LAC. All right, then we have Visa Direct representing today with Ralph Coker, who is Vice President and Head of Market Expansion. And to round out the Visa team, And to round out the Visa team, we have Dan Roseberry, who's Vice President of FinTech Business Development. And he too is one of my bosses as well, yeah. All right. Now, introducing the stars of the show, our impressive startups. We'll have Carolina Nukamendi of Waiver. We'll have Chibuzu Opara of Drugstop. Saksham Shubham of Decentro. Jeff Catalano of Paymentport. And Jonas Overgaard of AnyDay. All right, now give your huge round of applause for both our judges and our finalists. All right, moving into how today will work, okay? Each of our finalists will have 4 minutes to pitch. Each pitch will be followed by 4 minutes of Q&A. Now, a note to judges and startups, I will treat this like the Oscars. Once your 4 minutes are up, they're up. You're gonna hear my voice, we just gotta end it, all right? Each startup will be judged on the following criteria: pitch presentation, Visa partnership opportunities, desirability and uniqueness, and feasibility of product and solution. All right, once all the startups have pitched, our judges will deliberate and decide on our winners. Today's competition will result in 3 winners. The first winner will be from Visa Direct, in which they'll be awarded $10,000. Our second winner will be the audience favorite, and I'll have more details on this in just a second, but they will also be awarded $10,000. Then the overall winner will be awarded $50,000. And I don't know if you've heard, but here in the US, student loan payments are about to restart, so I too could use a donation of $50,000, so it's nothing to blink at, all right? But just a note back to the audience favorite winner, we're putting y'all to work both in the room and at home, in which you need to vote for your favorite startup so they can win the $10,000, okay? Now, while the judges deliberate, I promise we won't have you awkwardly sitting in the room staring at the screen. We're gonna have a sick fireside chat featuring Wade Arnold, co-founder and CEO of Move Financial and our 2021 global winner. And I'll also invite Marie-Lise Droga back up to the stage for their fireside chat. So that actually completes all of my introductions, except for I have one more request. I need a lot of energy from this room. This should be your favorite session that you attend today. I want to see lots of smiles, loud clapping, because these fintechs have worked so hard to get here, and it's not easy coming up here to pitch, okay? So that's my last request. Let's give it up once again. Yeah. Yes. You guys follow instructions beautifully. All right, we're about to get into the pitches, and first up, we'll have Carolina Nukamendi of Waiver, real-time payments for the subscription economy. Come on up, Carolina.
Thank you. Very excited to be here. I'm very excited to tell you how we're bringing real-time payments to the subscription economy. A seismic shift is on their way to modernize payments around the world. Those are Visa's words, not ours, but we couldn't agree more. This is happening at a time when recurring payments are outpacing the growth of one-time by 16%, and the US subscription market reached $38 billion, doubling over the course of only 4 years. Which is actually a great challenge because auto debit payments fell 35% of the time. Let me paint you a picture of how subscription payments work today. Imagine a subscription merchant. They're selling organic baby formula, transacting about $100,000 every year. That means that 35,000 of that revenue is continuously at risk. They're spending 20 hours every single month managing those failures, and they're having to wait for days to access funds after transactions already happened. For their customers, young, exhausted first-time parents, these payments are just as much of a headache. They're managing about 12 subscriptions every month. And that means that one single missed payment can miss that shipment, and they will no longer have access to that formula they need. Inevitably, it's a poor customer experience that will lead them to churn. And it's not because they meant to churn, but because of a systemic failure. 48% of subscription churn is attributed to failed payments. That's a lot. And the reason is very simple. The payments infrastructure, as we know it today, was not built for recurring payments. And this is where Waiver comes in. Our solution is direct, real-time, and simple, and it's called Pay by Bank. The user interacts with Pay by Bank in 3 simple steps. They select as a payment method at checkout, earning cash back in return, connect their account using biometrics. This takes a couple seconds, and then they confirm the payment. That's it. What's really unique about Waiver is the logic that we use for payment orchestration. We utilize real-time account-level transactional data to evaluate the likelihood of payments succeeding. That means that we're able to arrive at that outcome without having to process the payment. And that helps us in many ways. That means we can eliminate overdraft and all those fees on bank accounts, and we can also eliminate things like insufficient funds and balance payments. By partnering with Visa, we're able to bring another layer of both security and efficiency into our operations. With things like token ID, we can make sure that that first-time parent never sees a fraudulent transaction on their account as a result of using Pay by Bank. With risk analytics, we can better understand our own risk and manage that into all of our operations. And with things like exception management, we are better equipped to deal with things like disputes and chargebacks that can come our way. And these are only a handful of ways in which we can partner with Visa to bring an exceptional payment experience and a unique value proposition to both merchants and consumers. A failure rate lower than 2%, 5 times faster disbursements, and cashback on every single purchase that goes through direct debit. That means that those $35,000 that were always at risk are now always safely processing. That business is also able to free up cash and time to spend focusing on what matters the most, growing their business. For that customer, that parent is one less thing to worry about and a little bit of more savings in their pockets, bringing a cycle of both monetary value and peace of mind to every purchase. Waiver is bringing Pay by Bank to Shopify this fall in partnership with some of the most recognized financial services brands. And we would love for Visa to join us, empowering human-centric payments. Thank you.
Wonderful pitch.
Thank you.
You absolutely killed it. We are off to a phenomenal start. All right, our first Q&A of the day, and I'm going to tap on Emily. Any questions for Carolina?
Thanks, Carolina, for the pitch. Can you talk a little bit more about like 2 things? First being, what is it specific about the solution that makes this applicable for the subscription economy rather than a one-time purchase?
Mm-hmm.
And the second being, what is the incentive to the consumer at the end of the day to adopt a new payment type?
Yeah. What's very unique about subscriptions itself is that failure rate. And the way that we have seen this oftentimes is that when someone subscribes to a payment, that cash flow is not one-to-one with the next payment that comes their way. That's 30 days after they first subscribe or when that free trial expires. That's not one-to-one, and that's what causes that failure. What's really unique about our technology is utilizing that transactional account-level data that is able to inform us, is this payment going to be able to go through? If it's not able to go through, instead of using that retry logic that right now will continue to overdraft, cause a failed payment, we're actually able to monitor that balance in real time over a range of days that the merchant presets. And within that range, we're actually able to arrive at, is this able to go through or not, and then process the payment safely, instead of all of those retries that cost money, cost time, all of those other things. In regards to consumer incentive, that's honestly something that we've kept in mind all along. There's got to be a reason why a consumer is going to use this instead of everything that they know, and that's the cashback. A really interesting statistic is that 40% of e-commerce payments actually happen on debit, and those 40% of debit purchases are not getting any kind of rewards that credit cards will give you. And that's the market that we're going after. All of those people that are transacting through debit, something like Pay by Bank, it's a much better value proposition.
Thank you.
Awesome. Ayo, I'll kick it over to you.
Just what's the competition looking like today? And then just maybe anyone using pay by bank, and like how do you think you would win the market?
Yeah. The competition is very focused on just the entirety of the market. What's really unique about us is subscriptions. We're really honing in that logic to make sure that those payments don't fail, that that goes through easily. And like I was saying in the presentation, it's a good experience for both the merchant and the consumer. So there's a few companies that are bringing pay by bank, but nothing within the subscription space as we are. And the way in which we go into the market, a little bit into a go-to-market strategy is that we actually partner with the platforms that are powering these merchants, platforms like Shopify, where these merchants are already transacting.
Awesome. Akshay, any questions for Carolina?
Great presentation, Carolina. Can you talk a little bit about how the integration works? So are you going direct to consumer? Are you integrating with a merchant? And whom are you providing your risk scores to?
Yeah, we integrate directly with the merchant, but the way that that works is the majority of them already live on some kind of platform. Shopify has the majority of that market. So we actually bring the solution through that platform, and a merchant is able to basically turn it on and off. It's plug and play. And that's how they're able to start accepting pay by bank as a payment method. We don't think of ourselves as a consumer brand in the sense that we sell to merchants. Those are our clients. But again, as I was saying, it's very apparent to us that you have to incentivize that consumer, and that's where the cashback comes in.
So is the merchant payment facilitator getting your risk data to decide whether to decline or not, or?
We get that, and we process that payment and manage the entire orchestration of that payment.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up our first round of Q&A. Everybody, please give it up for Carolina of Waiver.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our next startup will be Drugstock, Chibuzo Opara. He is democratizing access and affordability to good quality pharmaceutical products. So everybody, please welcome Drugstock to the stage.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chibuzo Opara, co-founder and CEO of Drugstock. Drugstock is a tech platform that connects manufacturers of good quality pharmaceutical products to hospitals and pharmacies. But before I tell you the story about Drugstock, allow me to tell you a short story about myself. See, about 20 odd years ago, I'd just gotten back from work, and my cousin dashes into my room, drags me out to go see a family relative of ours. And he was having some difficulty in breathing. At the time, we didn't know, but he was suffering from a pulmonary embolism. And as a young doctor at the time, I realized that he needed emergency care, so we took him to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor prescribed some drugs. 8 hours later, we hadn't gotten the drugs, and he passed on. See, as sad as this story sounds, it is the story of millions of African households in sub-Saharan Africa. Dr. Yemi, his story of trying to bring life-saving medication to patients is one of navigating a fragmented supply chain. Every day he battles quality challenges, affordability issues, scalability issues, stockouts to bring quality healthcare to his clients. Our solution is one that creates digital channels from manufacturers of life-saving medication to hospitals, pharmacies, and patients. This year alone, we've saved doctors like Yemi over 1.5 million man-hours and millions of dollars in waste. Our system is an ecosystem of web products, mobile products, and chatbots, text-based systems that connects healthcare providers with a touch of a button to get the products they need within 24 hours to their facilities. It's embedded with a logistics infrastructure and fulfillment infrastructure that allows these pharmacies and hospitals to navigate the system with ease. We charge a margin on the products that go through the platform, as well as charge for services like technology and financial services. We see this fragmented market as a $100 billion opportunity that needs guts to solve it. Last year alone, we did $7 million in embedded financing, 22 million prescriptions through our platform, with 4,000 healthcare providers purchasing monthly on the platform. We want to work with Visa to transform and take advantage of this $100 billion opportunity by working on two core products. The first is one where we automate, virtualize, integrate the supply chain and financial systems with an end-to-end Visa Direct and Visa Acceptance Cloud system that creates a one-stop shop for hospitals, healthcare providers to get their pharmaceutical needs and services. The second one is where we integrate a Visa card, a Visa payment processing platform to eliminate over $10 billion in paper checks and exclusionary healthcare spend. We see this as an opportunity that will expand access to healthcare for households in Africa. Over the next 4 years, we intend to improve and increase the activity on our platform. By 2025, we intend to be doing $50 million in transactions on our platform, over 120 million prescriptions annually, and expand into 4 African countries that are huge. Join us as we transform the story and lives of 1 billion Africans, ensuring that nobody has to go through the frustrations and pain that Dr. Yemi and my family went through. It is an impactful story, and it is a good one. Thank you very much.
Great job. And you were like right on time. Phenomenal job. All right, right over to our judges again for Q&A. I'm going to shoot it over to Ralph. You look like you were excited to go ahead
Thank
and
you.
ask.
I was really excited. Great presentation, great cause. Question, how do you pay your suppliers?
Thank you, Ralph. Great question. So we get supplier credit from the suppliers, and typically once the product is, we have a number of days, and after that we just transfer credit to them.
Oh. Dan, over to you.
Okay, we'll keep going down the line here. You alluded to the $7 million in embedded finance business today. Can you break down what exactly that is?
So basically, it's products flowing through our platform, hospitals and pharmacies purchasing product from these manufacturers through our platform. We advance some of them credit. We allow them to pay in small bits. With Visa, the payment processing platform, we intend to make this even more efficient and faster transactions, increase the velocity of cash flow, allow people to take advantage of loan options that are available and things like that.
So would the loans be to consumers or to your direct clients?
No, to the business, to the clients.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Rodrigo?
Just if you can elaborate a little bit more about the challenge that you're having today for scaling the solution.
Thank you. So typically, we work with professional associations within the medical industry to expand access to the product, as well as we have direct salespeople in the field. We work with, we do some digital marketing in these groups and that sort of thing. Referrals is a big one. When we started earlier, referrals were slow, but now we got a lot of referrals from our existing clients. And yeah.
Referrals of the service providers for the doctors?
So service providers to other service providers, doctors to service providers, because it's a incestuous little field. So everybody sort of, if you're doing good, they talk about you.
And what is the main challenge that you're facing today?
HR. I mean, like, in sub-Saharan Africa, there's it's no secret that there's a dearth of professionals to bigger Western countries, and I work in healthcare and tech, and those two fields lose a lot of talent.
Emily, any questions?
Can you talk a little bit about your unit economics? What does it cost for you to acquire a customer? What is that customer then worth for you over their lifetime?
So we do something like $20-ish to get the client. Over the lifetime of a client, we get something like, could go from 100,000 upwards for a client.
And do they put all of their ordering through you, or what share of wallet can you guys capture?
I wish. So right now we're doing something like 35%. And it depends, right? So certain clients give us like 80%, but I'd say the average is around about 30, 45%.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, and Akshay, I saw you reach for the mic.
Philosophical question. Do you think you're more a e-com slash marketplace or a fintech, and why?
So I get that question a lot, and I say, like, in 5 years, we'll all be fintechs. So but at the end of the day, right, one of the biggest barriers to accessing quality healthcare is financial. And a lot of people think it's about affordability, but it's really about the velocity of money. Are you able to take money in small bits? How can you bring the payment systems closer to the small bits that people can take and sort of allow people to afford better with just a cash flow? Because a lot of financial systems look at money like, I'm just going to take big chunks of money. But if you break it down into like daily transactions, you can do a lot of money in the bottom of the pyramid.
Awesome. And that wraps up our second round of Q&A. Thanks so much, Jabuzu and Drugstock. All right, next up, let's welcome Sukshum Shubham of Decentro, banking infrastructure platform with plug-and-play integration. Everybody welcome Sukshum to the stage.
Thank you. Hi guys, I am Saksham Shubham, business head APAC at Decentro. Decentro is a banking as a service platform that connects businesses with banking, onboarding, and embedded finance APIs. Decentro is currently being used by over 500 live companies. We are doing more than 240 million annualized API transactions, and we are doing over $3 billion in annualized GDP. Now, today I'm here to discuss the future of cross-border payments. Let's look at a typical cross-border payment, how it works today. So let's suppose that I were to give $10,000 to the judges here. Yeah, nothing shady, but this is just a loan. Let's assume. So this $10,000, if I send it today, it's going to debit from my bank account, and it's going to land up in their bank account. Now, the two banks are essentially connected by CBNs, which are correspondent banking networks. Now, the problem is the system's broken. And the reason why it's broken is when I send the $10,000, it's not going to arrive in their bank accounts at the same time. It's going to be 2 days, it's going to be 3, it's going to be more. The reason for that is there are too many touch points in the ecosystem, right? So the two banks, the way they talk to each other might not be direct, which means that there might be more financial institutions involved. And of course, they got to share information with each other. And that's why it becomes important to make a change. And the change is that we change the entire ecosystem and bring it under the Visa umbrella through a private network. The private network essentially talks with CBDCs and banks at the same time. The way it works is that the moment I initiate a transaction of $10,000 to each of the judges, a smart contract gets created. Now, this smart contract distributes itself evenly across the ecosystem with all the third-party financial institutions. And the moment it hits the bank where their accounts is, that's the time the payment gets rolled out, right? Essentially, payments is just nothing but a ledger ecosystem, right? So it moves from one ledger to another. And this is why I feel this is going to be an instantaneous transaction. Now, why do we need Visa, right? Of course, one, because of the credibility. We want to have the credibility aspect to integrate with their banking network and their banking partners. Why do we need Visa again? I mean, we need to build a bridge, right? We need to consume their existing APIs and make it better. That brings me to an end to my deck. And the third reason why we need Visa, to recover 10,000 that I've loaned out to them. Thank you.
All right, Sukshum, you finished a little too quickly. I had to get up the stairs, all right? Okay, that phenomenal pitch. All right, judges, I'll have Io kick it off this time around.
Very good presentation, well done.
Thank you.
So, just a couple questions.
Sure.
How much faster is this than like the regular payment method today? And are you serving customers or business with this? And I think last one is like, what does your team look like today?
Right. So we're a team of 63 people at the moment, so pretty tight ship. In terms of going live, no, we're not live with the current ecosystem, but we are planning to build it. And with the first question, I believe we are going to be starting this. I mean, we're going to be starting this, and the way that this works is that if the KYC is read by both the banks instantaneously, the ledger movement can happen really quickly, right? So it could be instantaneous. It could be a fraction of seconds.
Thank you.
Ralph, I'll kick it over to you.
Great presentation, thank you. You hit upon a part of my question, the KYC.
Yeah.
But then it comes to my other favorite topic, regulations, OFAC, sanction screening,
Right.
and making sure everything is legit.
Yeah.
And sometimes those transactions take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with that?
Quite an interesting question. So the way that we're going to deal with that is we are going to build these one-to-one lanes between countries. So we obviously know what the regulations in one country is versus the other. So we're going to make sure that the KYC elements that we are capturing on either side, between the sender and the receiver, is basically captured 100%. And of course, it's task-based. So I might be sending money to, say, my family, so that is recorded.
But how do you screen against a list then?
So it's going to be a predefined list. For example, businesses sending to their entities. So it's basically a screening done way before, so that at the time of transaction, you don't waste time in screening the transaction or the business.
Dan, any questions?
Yep, I'll go next. So you have an existing business today with paying customers, et cetera. With this new idea, what, I guess, based on what you've built to date, what puts you in the right position to build this global solution?
Right. So like I said in the previous answer, we already onboard these businesses that we work with, right? So 80% of the process is already solved for. We just have to build the cross-border rails now as a private network. So we're already domestically live, so yeah, the cross-border bit.
And then my second question, how do you think about chargebacks and disputes?
Well, it's gonna, the way it goes forward is the way it goes back, right? So the chargebacks are gonna have a similar ecosystem. A smart contract gets released, and it comes back again.
Thank you.
Awesome. Akshay, any questions?
You mentioned you have 500 clients already, which is really impressive. Are any of those clients using the blockchain-based solution, or is that what you're proposing for subsequent phases?
So yes, some of them are existingly using the system, not with us, but they're already using it. We intend to build it because we want to reduce the time and the cost. That's the major motivation behind it.
Awesome. And I think we can squeeze in one more. Rodrigo or Emily? Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm curious about the revenue model, how you guys are thinking on monetizing it.
Right. I mean, today we charge anywhere between 1% to 2%, depending on the transaction type. But with this, obviously the costs are going to go lower. So of course we can go lower, but with a higher margin percentage.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up our third round of Q&A. Thank you so much, Sukshum. All right, next up, we'll have Jeff Catalano of Paymentport, Web3-enabled fintech providing neobanking borderless payment platform. Everybody, welcome Jeff to the stage. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I'm Jeff Catalano. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Paymentport. We are a fintech startup enabling Web3 instant digital payments and neobanking, specifically for the supply chain, maritime, and shipping industries. My personal journey with Paymentport started close to 4 years ago. I was sitting off the Panama Canal watching the sunset, and I noticed something very strange. Hundreds of container ships sitting idling off the coast. I didn't understand why. Spoke to some friends at the port, and they told me a lot of these container ships still were waiting to make their final payments and settlements before they could come into port. So after about 6 months of research, I realized that trillions of dollars in value were being moved around through archaic payment methods, and I thought that there had to be a better way, a light bulb moment, and Paymentport was born. I want to give you a little journey of one container of bananas. The Kirby Fruit Company sends hundreds of containers of bananas around the world on a yearly basis. And one container itself has about 11 different touch points and separate payments from the producer to the freight forwarders, logistics companies. It's very inefficient and time consuming. So we are addressing the problems in legacy payment options and the port of entry delays. All of us know that cross-border payments can take 3 to 7 days to settle and can carry high interchange fees and high wire transfer fees. Did you know that the global trading and shipping industry is worth $2.2 trillion today and projected to be worth $4.2 trillion by 2031? So we're creating modern payment solutions for an age-old problem. Our platform innovations are focused on CFOs and payables departments will have instant payments, wallet to wallet in 3 to 5 seconds, real-time off-ramps, neobanking, and treasury management, as well as a decentralized built-in exchange. We'll be able to send, trade, and save 24/7, 365. So our mobile and web applications have a very easy-to-use user interface and user experience, and we are a Web3-enabled borderless payments, remittance, and neobanking platform with a strong focus on B2B for the supply chain, shipping, and logistics industry, with a secondary market of fund managers, asset managers, family offices, and high net worth individuals. So how we make money, we charge a platform as a service one-time onboarding fee. We have 2 different plans. One is a pro plan and one is a basics plan. Spend management, transaction fees, with a fee structure of 25 basis points to 50 basis points. Of course, issuing and acquiring card service fees, and asset management transaction fees as well. So Paymentport is addressing the massive B2B elephant in the room. Did you know that the global shipping industry last year was worth $269 billion? So why us? Because our platform as a service and software as a service is faster, it's interoperable, and less expensive. Plus, we reduce your carbon footprint. A Paymentport and Visa partnership would be focused on B2B high value and high volume transactions. Who here knows about blockchain technology? Show of hands. Awesome. We're all growing. Blockchain is projected to be worth $10 trillion in transactions by 2025, with potentially half of the world's population using digital wallets. So we plan to integrate Visa's products and services, starting with CyberSource, which is our payment gateway. We plan to work with Visa Direct for off-ramp pushes to cards and banks, and high-value off-ramp fiat push to banks with B2B Connect. Of course, issuing and acquiring services, card services through Visa. So this partnership would not be about changing the world. We're empowering enterprises everywhere to be this change. So please support us in expediting the supply chain and maritime industries and bringing new digital payment solutions for their last mile. Let's get these cargo ships into port, the goods into the hands of the people. Thank you so much for Paymentport Day.
All right. Great job, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Emily, any questions for Jeff?
Can you talk about where you are today from like a traction perspective?
Sure. We are pre-revenue, so we are pre-launch. We are at the prototype stage right now. Our platform is completed. The web and mobile applications are complete, and we're at the third-party integration stage right now. So we plan to utilize Visa services for the payment gateway right away, and we're looking for an international banking partner. Once those are accomplished, we have many clients that are ready to beta test with us in the major maritime players.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rodrigo, any questions?
Yeah, I think it's around the commercialization. I think you said that you have a couple of customers already, but what is your strategy here? So how you intend to get scalability on this?
Sure. We plan to acquire our users through third-party logistics and fourth-party logistics partnership that we've established, And these customers do procurement for hundreds to thousands of clients in ports all over the world. So they'll be acquirers for us. They'll be partners for us, but also will acquire and onboard many users into our platform and open up wallets immediately for us. So we'll work hand in hand with our partners and acquirers.
Awesome. Aya?
Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you, Aya.
The port organizations that will be accepting the payments, how digitized are they? So I'm just being sure that the problem is not only with the people making the payments.
Yeah, well, they'll have a lot of different options for payment. Again, we'll be able to push payments to cards through Visa, make payments to banks, and of course, the Web3 element is wallet to wallet with 3 to 5 second transaction times.
Can you just go deeper on the Web3 wallet to wallet? So maybe just take me through a use case of like who's the wallet holder on one side and the receive side?
Sure. So our clients will basically onboard themselves. They'll have a wallet. So again, back to the acquirers for us, they will have, let's say, the receiver side and recipient side will also set up wallets. So those payments will be made directly wallet to wallet once they're established in our platform. And those transactions are 3 to 5 seconds on the decentralized network that we are integrated with.
And then can you just take me through the incentives for both sides of that ecosystem, like send and receive?
Absolutely. So self-sufficiency is crucial. A lot of major enterprises are looking for faster ways to make payments and control these payments themselves. So CFOs and finance departments will be able to make these payments 24/7, 365 at their own discretion rather than waiting for banks and acquiring banks to do this for them.
Great. I think we have space for one more question. Go ahead, Ralph.
Okay, well then I'll fill the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
How do you do with FX fluctuation, especially when you get from exotic to more common or the other way around?
Sure. So one of our value propositions is in our platform, we have a built-in decentralized exchange, and we'll allow our users to swap Forex currencies. So let's say they have USD and they want to make a payment to their supplier in Hong Kong and have that recipient receive HKD. That will happen directly through the decentralized network. We'll fetch the best offers in the order book for them and present those offers to them, and they can make that choice and make that direct purchase themselves.
Thank you. I had a follow-up question, but we won't have the
We don't have
time,
time.
so thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. Great job,
Thank you
Jeff.
so much. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we're actually at our last startup of the competition. Seemed everything just went by so fast today. Let's welcome Jonas Overgaard of AnyDay, enabling the next generation of consumers with transparent credit options. Big round of applause for Jonas. Good luck.
Hey everyone. So I'm Jonas, CEO and founder of AnyDay, and we are building the next generation of Buy Now, Pay Later. So let's dig into it. Currently, we are seeing that Buy Now, Pay Later is processing $184 billion. And that's only going to rise year on year because we cannot get over the fact that customers love to defer their payments. The big problem here is that 57% of those customers actually end up regretting whatever purchase they made. So, meet Jesper. He's a family dad. He's been happily married for the last 10 years, and he just got a newborn. Like so many others, he's feeling the increased expenses. He's having a lack of financial flexibility, and he have tried some of those BNPL options out there. In other words, Jesper is a part of those 57%. He tried to give AnyDay a try because AnyDay is absolutely free, up to $4,000. There's no fine print in our business model, and he can combine debit and credit as he likes. And even better, he can actually have 4 months of installments, so he have enough time to actually repay the installments. So if we take a customer flow with Jesper, then in this example, he's buying a car seat for $200. He'll see AnyDay as a payment method in checkout, and then he'll sign up to AnyDay's platform. When signing up to AnyDay's platform, he will undergo a credit worth assessment. There we'll use open banking, PSD2 data, to get an idea of Jesper's economy before granting him credit. and then he'll add his Visa card, so we have a place from where we can withdraw the installments. Then he'll be met by our custom checkout flow, which is always divided into 4 easily installments, 4 monthly easily installments. But in this example, Jesper decided that he want to make his own payment plan. He want to pay 50% right now, and then he want to pay 50%, the remaining 50% over the next 4 months. So he completes his purchase. The business model is simple. If we have $100, we will pay out $96 to the merchants, and we'll keep $4. And since Jesper had a really good experience, he want to come back and use our service again and again and again, and therefore we will actually make $20 per customer. And talking about customers, Jesper is not alone. We have 120,000 customers on the platform. We are growing 137% year on year, and we are currently processing 6 million in monthly volume. But even better, we are giving our merchants $175 in average order value. So if we take the full partnership with Visa, then you have the card that Jesper attached, which from where we take the installments. Then we use Visa Direct to pay out to the merchants, so they get the funds. And then we reclaim the installments from Jesper until he has paid off his installment plan. That gives us a 12 million processed monthly volume. So where are we going? We are currently looking at a branded card where we want to go out and give this opportunity to both online and in-store. There we will launch in, right now we are in Denmark, but we will launch in the full Nordics. So in Denmark, we will have roughly 300,000 cards active, branded cards, and we'll process close to $100 million. Going into a Northern Europe focus, we will have close to a million, sorry, I'll take it, close to 1 million Visa cards, and we'll process about $200 million. So to summarize it all, we have the branded cards, which you can use both in-store and online. And then we have the click-to-pay from where we take the installments. And then we have Visa Direct, which we use to pay out to the merchants. So we are looking to go into Northern Europe now. Then we are looking to have a European focus, and then we will have a US focus. Thank you so much.
All right, way to close us out. Congratulations, wonderful job, okay? Now our final round of Q&A, and I will actually kick it off with Akshay this time.
Thanks. So one of the things we've seen globally in BNPL is they're struggling with bad debt, and assessing creditworthiness has not been that easy. So what are you doing differently to get a handle on creditworthiness?
Well, I think, first of all, when we do creditworthiness check and we are doing our underwriting of the customers, we are using the PSD2 data, and from there we are actually making a credit profile instantly of the customer. And based on that credit profile, that is what we grant to the customer in credit. So that is actually also why we have the flex opportunity, because let's say that you want to purchase something for $1,000, but after we have done our creditworthiness check of you, maybe you only want to give you $500. Then we'll give you $500, and then we will tell you to come back and use the last $500 from your savings account. So we are trying to educate you in using credit the right way, and that's what we mean about empowering the next generation of consumer with credit. Yeah.
Awesome. Emily, go right ahead.
Why can't the existing buy now, pay later players have a solution like this, or offer the sliding scale payment plans?
Well, you should ask them, but they probably could as well. We just haven't seen it, and I think in order to create buy now, pay later 2.0, somebody else apparently needs to come in and do it. So, yeah.
Got it.
Walk me through the unit economics. If you charge $4, what does your processor charge you? And also, how are you financing the credit today?
Yeah, so we have a banking partner doing the financing for us. So we have a financing partner behind us doing all the, every time a purchase go through. And we do payouts every
Just
week.
on that, do you take the credit risk, or they take the credit risk?
Any day takes the full credit risk. Yeah. What was the first question? Sorry.
The unit economics.
Unit
what
economics. Okay, yeah. So doing the first transaction, that's the high cost, because that is where we have to do all the checks in order to make sure that we lend out to the right person, and we are not. Yeah. So the first check, we are having a unit economic roughly under $10, but then all following transactions going through will be to another cost, because we have done the majority of the checks there.
Awesome. Dan, I saw Ralph hand you the mic. I don't know between you two.
They both tried to hand me the mic at the same time. You mentioned 4 months financing, which I think would put you somewhat unique in the market as well. Is that kind of customer by customer, or is that available for all your customers?
That's available for all customers, because the whole idea about doing 4 months is not to give you $1,000 in credit and come back 2 weeks later and say, now you have to pay. So yeah, 4 months is default.
Thank you. I saw your roadmap. You start in Denmark, and you go north to lesser populated country versus going down to Germany or other countries where you could sell more cards. Why is that?
So Denmark is a country for itself, but then we also have Sweden, Norway, and Finland, and we are really close together. And the infrastructure, when we use EID and other things, is really similar. So we can actually reuse a lot of the the interface we have, the IT we have done. So we can reuse that in those countries. Therefore, it makes a ton of sense to start there.
Can't you do it quicker then?
Hopefully, we're doing our best, and yeah, trying to do it as soon as possible. But yeah.
All right. Well, that actually wraps up our final pitch of the day. Thank you so much to Jonas. Everybody, big round of applause.
Thanks.
All right, so now comes your time to shine. I am putting you guys to work. We have completed the competition, and now our judges are going to begin deliberating. But first, I need you guys to go and vote for your favorite finalist. Please scan the QR code that is on your screen if you are here in the room. And then if you are at home, please pick up your phone, as I'm sure it's right next to you, as you've been tweeting the whole time about us, and scan the QR code as well and place your vote. You have 2 minutes. All right, there we go.
Oh, gosh.
All right, voting is over. I really hope you casted your vote because I'm very excited to see who you guys all selected. Now, you probably see these 2 mysterious faces on stage. Just kidding, you've already seen Maria Elise. But we also have Wade Arnold, who is the co-founder and CEO of Move Financial, and he was also our 2021 Global Visa Everywhere Initiative winner. So, everybody, please give them a big round of applause.
How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I don't have to have 4 minutes today, so I'm
Does
excited.
that bring memory, what you
It does.
seen?
Yeah, I used that pitch for about 1.5 years, so.
So you were here in this forum 2 years ago, brought an idea, had a big problem you wanted to solve.
Yep.
Fast forward 2 years later, where are you at Move, and has things changed compared to your original vision?
Yeah, I'd say the original vision has stayed true. So Move allows software developers to accept, store, send, and spend money all through a single API, all through a single set of contracts. And we really think of ourselves as like real-time ledger infrastructure. We just happen to have direct connections into the 4 card brands, the clearinghouse, and the Federal Reserve in order to help people move money. But yeah, 2.5 years ago, it was an idea. Now it's 110 employees and millions and millions of payments a month.
And $75 million of funding later. Congrats, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Including investment from Visa.
Yes.
So tell me.
Thank you very much for that.
We have vested interests. So,
yes.
Okay. So what actually role does a strategic investor like Visa have played into your overall funding, success in your product roadmap and your go-to-market?
Yeah, so as a payments processor, being connected to the payment rails is really important. And so the largest payment rail in the world, Visa, being pretty significant. I think, a crazy idea 3 years ago starting this company was that Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, the Clearinghouse, Federal Reserve would let a company with 5 employees and no processing volume onto their network. Looking back, that was maybe arrogant or crazy, one of the two. So Visa was the first company that said yes to the idea and said, I think the world needs this. And so being able to partner with Visa off the bat, then you're able to get kind of the other payment networks in on the vision. And it helps when you're like, well, Visa said yes, what, you better let us in or we'll just send them that way. So that was really significant. And then, really the additional capital that came from Visa when you're working with, predominantly we work with companies that move, $10 to $20 million and up a month through our platform. And so then having, it's not a stamp of approval, but it's at least, somebody else other than us has vetted this company, and so that's been really useful.
Now, I really feel for you. I don't know if you can imagine this guy 2 years ago went through the grilling process that these 5 companies went through. He won not only the North America Visa Everywhere Initiative Award, he also won the Global Award
and the
Visa.
crowd favorite, if we're keeping track.
And the crowd favorite. And hold on. After he did this, he turned off his computer and he went to feed his cat because this was COVID. He was at home and basically going through these motions on his laptop. What a letdown. So he missed out on all of this. He missed out on the cheers. He missed out on the stress, at least, having to put makeup on, et cetera, unless your wife helped you out. So can we give him 10 seconds of loud cheer? Because he didn't have it. Hey! So
that's pretty awesome. My daughter did film me opening the UPS box with the trophy in it.
The big check?
Yeah, the no big check.
So on the Move website, and we're really, really proud about that, the Visa Everywhere Initiative is marked and signaled by you as a huge milestone, a turning point. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, so most of the payments industry is kind of pre-internet, pre-mobile phones, pre-cloud computing. There's literally a business model in payments called a gateway, which was designed because maybe this internet thing will catch on or not. And so, to come up and say, hey, this, a gateway, a processor, a PayFac, all these things should just be shoved together, it makes a lot of sense. It just costs a lot of money to go start that over from scratch. We jokingly say we're, the largest cloud-based, card acceptance processor in the world, but we're the only one. So, whether or not that's a good idea or not. But all these technologies were kind of layer caked on top of each other is basically how how payments work in the United States. And so to have the validation from going through this process that not only did this idea move need to exist in the world, but that a company like Visa said, yeah, we see that problem. These new business models can't be created because the layer cake was designed for something other than two-sided networks or people buying shoes, million people hitting buy now at the same time. That was never designed if you built your system before the internet existed. And so that validation is really encouraging, right, to keep on pursuing the idea.
So it wasn't just about the money, right?
No.
Although it helped.
The $100,000 was useful, but that $100,000 then leads into other investors that say, well, tell me more about why Visa thinks this is a good idea. And so that's the real validation. Is obviously I don't want to discredit, as a seed round company, getting an extra $100,000 is a big deal, but it opens the doors into the subsequent fundraising rounds.
And hearing that Visa had clients that needed those solutions, and you were answering needs that we just couldn't fulfill at that time, was probably the music to your ears, right?
Absolutely. So VC intros are pretty good. We've, an Andreessen Horowitz or Bain Capital or Commerce Venture intro is great, which are great investors in Move. But Kimberly Lawrence intro is like,
that's my boss, by the way.
Yeah, that's a really good intro. That's a pretty good deal.
So Wade, on top of all this, you also ran a fintech developer conference.
Yes.
Happened just a few weeks ago. So
yes.
What's the latest from the street? What come out of it? What are you hearing? What are the insights that we can all benefit from?
Yeah, so we started this conference called FinTech DevCon, and this year was 580 people, which was somewhat surprising to me that there's that many people in FinTech. So the fact that there's a dedicated room here is pretty wild. And it's no sales pitches, no biz dev people. We literally kick the salespeople out that come in and try and shell their products. But it's all just, how do I overcome these problems inside of the space? So we had 180 applicants for speakers, 38 speakers this year. And the idea was FinTech, for me, or financial services, I guess it used to be called, it was like this black box. Like, this is too hard for you. You're not smart enough. Sign this NDA and hide behind this paywall in order to get API access. And if people can figure out things like blockchain or generative AI, they can figure out how ACH works. And it just takes kind of a platform or a place for people to share that information. And I think for at least for us, a more educated consumer is actually a better buyer, and they know how to do more things. And so for us, that was maybe a passion project for me, that I wanted to create a space that people could collaborate and share information with one another.
So did you have a speaker on AI like everybody else?
Oh, we did. We also had Killer Mike. So it's pretty diverse kind of speaking, but generative AI, I think, is something all of us have to deal with, specifically from a fraud standpoint inside of financial services.
Great. So with a minute to spare, what advice are you giving these guys behind the curtains? Just literally minutes before one or several are going to be recognized as the winners.
Yeah, I say in financial services, there's no overnight successes. Like, it's 1% change every day. Are you better than you were the day before? And risk is real, compliance is real, scale is real. When you mess up 1% of transactions and it's $10,000, like, you can cover that. When you're processing $10 billion, 1%'s a real number. And so just telling people to stick with it and continue on that journey and continually improve on a daily basis. And a decade from now, you should be an overnight success.
Well, congratulations, Wade. It was great to see you again.
Great seeing you, absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Maria Elise and Wade. Big round of applause, but you will see them on stage again. All right, so now this is the most exciting portion of the show. We are about to give out some money, okay? And first up, we will have the Visa Direct Award winner, presented by Ralph Coker, who's actually presenting his own award, given he heads up Visa Direct, so that's fun. And also, Ayo Arakawa. Come on out, guys.
So we're glad to announce the winner of the Visa Direct Award of $10,000. And the winner is Jonas of Any Day.
Jonas of Any Day. He is hailing, he was actually the winner of our European Visa Everywhere initiative. All right, our next award, this is where we put y'all to work, our audience favorite. And that will be awarded by Dan Roseberry and Emily Mann. Come on out, you two. All right, the room has voted, and the audience favorite is Chibuzo Okara of Drugstore. Congratulations, Drugstock. And also, thank you, audience, for voting. But now we are about to give the big grand prize of $50,000. I called dibs on asking for a donation first, as I said earlier in the show. But let's welcome back Maria Elise and where's Wade? And Wade Arnold to give away the big ticket. Take it away.
Congratulations. Bravo.
Congratulations.
Let's one on each side. Wow, what a day. Congratulations again. Okay.
Hey, stay on stage. Well, congratulations on being this year's winner. I know it's a tremendous amount of work that went into it. I would also like to call to the stage all of our startups, all of our judges, come on out so we can take a cute picture. Big round of applause for everybody still in the room. Perfect. Oh wait, winners, bring your prizes up here. Yeah. Awesome. Everybody in the clique. Come on, Rodrigo. All right. All right, wonderful. Everybody in like a big happy family. Okay, everybody in. All right. Claudia, come on. All right. Awesome. Oh. Alrighty, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to our finalists. Without you, we couldn't do it. Thank you to our judges. I know your schedules are chaotic, personal experience. And also thank you to the audience, everyone here and at home for tuning in. I'm Dolores Terry, and we'll see you next year.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out here with me today. Don't forget that there's a meetup at the House of Shields, which is just down the street. And you can grab highlights from today on techcrunch.com. You can use the QR codes to get all of the transcripts from Otter. And we will see you here tomorrow. Tomorrow, this will be the AI stage. Have a good night, everybody. I'll talk to you later.